Targeting crappie at midday can be a daunting proposition, but as Fish Head host Jon Thelen shows us next, you can still enjoy consistent catches.
There he goes. Got him. Ooh, look at this. This one was actually closer to the boat than you would guess. I was just kind of reeling this back. I stopped for a sec. Look at that, first crop of the day. Stopped for a sec and just let it sit. And this guy came up and snapped it. You know, one of the things I'll tell you too is I've made a lot of changes already trying to get these fish figured out. That's an awesome crappie right there. But look what I did here. I actually made a change to just a small little hunk of night crawler on that little nipper. I threw minnows and I threw leeches and I just wasn't getting bit. And it was kind of one of them things where I was getting bit, but I wasn't getting bit by the right species. So just that constant change, go through a whole bunch of things, keep moving around, keep looking, but then put yourself in a position where you're changing baits and giving it different looks. And there you go, that crappie's laying in here. I mean, it's high noon, it's early, and this fish is in here and they're willing to bite. You just gotta work to get on them in the right places with the right stuff and figure out what they want. I've moved several times here too. I've hopscotched along and I've slid in here a little bit shallower now and I'm into some thicker bulrushes, and that might be making a difference too with the sun as high as it is. The waves are gonna help me a little bit, taking away some of that light penetration, but I'll tell you what, it's still a high bright day and we're fishing 3 feet of water. So when it comes down to it, getting closer to those thicker clumps can make a big, big difference. And that's where you just rely on those polarized glasses, look in there, you can see where the thicker clumps are, and that's what I'm pitching to. A lot of times you're gonna find out those fish are just laying in there for the shade and kind of that downtime of the day. I'm using bubblegum fill floats today. Bubblegum series is pretty cool because it comes in a whole variety of colors. So if you got a group of people fishing and you're fishing in pretty tight quarters, you can cast out and everybody will know which one is their bobber because they can all have their own color. But one of the other things it'll do for you is when I'm casting out this side right now, just the way the sun glare is, I'll tell you what, some of these higher vis colors might be a little bit easier to see. So I've been using that one right there. And you know what? That one's awesome on this side of the boat. For whatever reason, I can see this one really, really well, but the way the sun glare is there, so it's as simple as I can just reel in and grab a different color. That's the cool thing about the bubblegum series. They come in 4 different colors. And they all come mixed together so that when you go to the store and you find these in those bulk bins, you can just grab the colors you want. It's a pretty neat deal. Pretty simple what we're doing here. I mean, it's just a spring float, just a pencil float. I'm using a pencil float because in this shallow water, I don't want these fish to feel me at all. I'm not using any weight, no split shot or anything, and I'm just going right down to a little nipper. It's that easy. But it's a really, really subtle way to fish. And when you're in shallow water, these fish, they feel that float right away when they go to bite it. So using a pencil float and no weight makes it a heck of a lot more subtle, and you'll have far less fish grab it and drop it by fishing like we're fishing here today. Here he goes. Boy, with all that wind, you get too much slack out so easy, got to him. Kind of got a little bit lucky there. You get too much slack out so easy, you really got to pay attention to that. Ooh, he's in a bulrush. There, he came through it. We got lucky. It's the other thing, I mean, you really want to try to get these fish moved as quick as you can when that bobber goes down, because here's the thing, their natural reaction is going to be to swim right back down into that bulrush. And that's what these fish are doing on me. It's another great eater size crop. We'll take that all day long, I suppose, 11 inches. But you want to really, when you get that bobber to go down, You want to get going up in the air, and then you want to fight that fish up the whole way back because you're pulling them more at a 45-degree angle up and out of the bottom of those bulrushes. If you let him get in the base of those bulrushes, fish like this right there, he'll get you in there, he'll get you all tangled up. Next thing you know, your hook's in the bulrush. I mean, it's just one thing after another that goes wrong if you let them get down there. But if you get them up and out of there pretty quick, fish like that one right there, you can get them to the boat, even in this thick jungle we're fishing. That's a nice fish right there. We'll take him. Keep it rolling, huh? You know, it's funny. I went to that hunk of night crawler, and that makes all the difference. I want to show you something really, really easy here. As far as where that night crawler is, that night crawler came in dirt this morning. So I've got panfish leeches with me today. I've got minnows, but right in my leech bag, I've got in my leech tamer, I've got all my minnows in this one, and I've got all my leeches in this one. The bait tamer's got all the minnows. But you can just throw a night crawler when you're just just taking chunks off them. Just throw them right in there with those leeches. And what it'll do is it'll keep them clean. You're not going in and out of that container with the dirt. And then you can just take a chunk off just like that easy. Drop that crawler right back in there. Hook it up, and here we go. There he goes, look at that, same thing. Just the side of the boat change again. We'll see. Yeah, it's feeling a little rock bassy. We'll see though. Oh, is that a bluegill? Look at that, we talked about the fact we thought we'd get some bluegills today. And look at that, an awesome gill, look at him. What a great fish. That's a big gill. I suppose 9 inches. Really nice fish, look at that. I had a feeling we'd get some of these today. It's just that time of the year where they should be in here along with these crops. These bluegills, they're getting ready to spawn. They're not there yet. They're in here to get ready. We're gonna let this one go. That's just a big, pretty fish. Look at that. That's awesome. There he is. Got him. Yep, it is the right thing. It's awful dark. This is a really dark crappie. I was afraid that I had another rock bass because this guy is so dark. Wait till you see how jet black this fish is. Holy smokes. That's an example of what these fish do when they're in this shallow water around the spawn. Most of these fish are wrapping up the spawn now. We're getting some of these males that are hanging around, and look at that. That's a cool fish. Man, they're pretty when they start getting all that color, and then they'll lighten up again now shortly, right behind that spawn. Let's talk about this location a little bit, because there's a lot of this location on lakes all over the Midwest and down into the South as well. This is an area right here that just has a flat on it, and all I'm doing is anchoring up using my trolling motor, and I'm just picking around this area. But here's the key to this flat. There's areas on this flat that are just sugar sand. I'm not fishing those areas. When I see those areas, I avoid them, okay? Right over here, there's a spot where there's no bulrushes. That's not gonna hold any crappies or any bluegills for that matter at this time of the year. So what I'm looking for are these flats areas, 3-4 feet of water. I'm just sitting in 4.2 feet of water right here. And then look for those clumps of bulrushes, look for those clumps of weeds, anything that is covered that these fish can hold up in during the day. Now, as we head toward evening, late afternoon, early evening, these fish are going to get far more aggressive, and they'll get away from those clusters of weed growth a little bit, and they'll meander because they'll be looking for food. But at this time of the day, when you're sitting here, when nobody else is around you, and it's plain and simply because the fish aren't biting real good at this time of the day, you got to get to those areas where there's some cover. And if you get to those areas, you're going to be able to get some fish. It's another great crop right there. Man, I'll tell you, it's not fast and furious, but we're picking away at them. Got a nice dinner put in the live well here, and I'll tell you, it's just easy, fun fishing. It's just a little bit slower. But if you come out and you do this same technique, this same deal toward evening, and who knows, you know, I mean, there's a chance I'll still be out here. The reality of it is this bite is going to be really good because there's a lot of fish in here. And you can tell When you sit here like I have today, you catch the number of fish I have and then you lose the number of fish I have. You can tell there's a lot of fish in here because they're just not aggressive right now. When they get aggressive, man, I'll tell you what, it's gonna be good. There he goes. Same spot. Same spot as that last one, right on this little clump of weeds, not far from the boat. Look at that, another good fish. Come here, buddy. Look at that. Another one of those jet black ones, holy moly. Look at that, that one's a little bit bigger even. What an awesome fish. I'll tell you what a great day this has been. And you know, you look around, you don't see a lot of people. We're doing a few things a little different than a lot of people. We're fishing right during the middle of the day, and these fish, they can still be caught. I mean, that's a great crop right there. You can still get out here and catch these fish. It just comes down to putting yourself in a position where you're fishing where the fish are, and you're just making constant changes. Constant changes will make a huge, huge difference, whether it's color, bait, little moves, cast into different sides of the boat. You can catch these fish even when it's not prime time. That was a fun day right there.